Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is Game God Fluent, bringing you episode 2 of Let's Play Queen's Wish 2, The Tormentor. I should watch that intro, actually, to see that cool picture of the party standing there. Pretty neat. We're in Fort Meadow 4. Just about to head in and talk to Miranda. We have to recruit soldiers, actually. When you get more supplies, there's a chance that some might be stolen. Build more barracks and guards towers to reduce the chances. Alright, let's recruit here. See fort summary. See what you've built in your reclaimed forts. 1 fort reclaimed. Okay, something new is this. Forts dedicated to knowledge, industry, the row. That's different. Havenites, Haven royalty. If we create a new character, we can't create these other characters, so there's no point in really creating a new character or looking into that yet. Let's just pick Haven Soldier and TD. Delete. So we've got Patricia, Terrence, and Elspeth we're going to use. Let's go ahead and recruit them. Very nice. Let's see. We looked at their skills. We looked at what they're wearing. So I think we should just go in and talk to General Miranda now. Miranda can guide you, Chief Cestus. This used to be a grand hall where emissaries from Haven met with leaders of the row. Like everything else in Fort Meadow 4, it is neglected and depressing. At least there is still one official here to speak for your nation. She is an old woman wearing ill-fitting leather armor. It bears the insignia of a chief, a commander of one of your proud forts. When you approach, she slumps in her chair and lets out a tired sigh. It is an honor to greet a Prince of Haven after all these quiet years. I am Chief Cestus. I have served in Fort Meadow 4 for many years. Now that you have looked around, I'm sure you have much to say. Her voice is fitting, tired and defeated. I've had a chance to inspect your fort. Chief Cestus nods. It was inevitable that this reckoning would come. We await your judgment. Well, I haven't actually had a look yet, so we'll return to that. Stonehouse. The upper floor of the hall is dedicated to the business of Haven. General Miranda managed to clean it up a little before you arrived. It isn't an entire ruin. Your bedroom is to the west. You are desperately relieved to see your most prized piece of equipment, your butler Stonehouse. He was sent to Fort Meadow 4 ahead of you, and he seems to have survived the raider attack so far. He stands at attention, waiting to see to your royal needs. His face is calm, and his eyes have their constant look of haunted despair. I exist to serve. Waiting outside your quarters, you find Stonehouse. He has been your butler since you were a small child. Now, while you were being stalked by brigands and carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, he has been here, hiding, safe and comfortable. He hands you a warm, moist towel as you approach to clean the dirt off the road from your face. His eyes have his usual mix of terror, despair, and quiet resignation. Hello, Prince. As always, I await your command. I don't really want to be a jerk to Stonehouse. Stonehouse, you abandoned me when I was in need. I am so sorry, Prince. Prince Sutter directed me to come here and prepare your rooms while you were at the port. I attempted to reach you through the hordes of screaming bandits running everywhere, but I could not single-handedly battle my way through. I apologize, Stonehouse. I know you were doing your best under very difficult circumstances. You would never say that. I'll give you just this one chance to redeem yourself. Of course, Prince. As your words have repeatedly indicated, I have failed in every single previous attempt at redemption. Thus, your faith in me at this late day is pure gratification. Is there anything I can do for you to begin this journey? Any messages for me? I go downstairs to check the mirror frequently. It is currently silent. I need some information. Stonehouse nods. You have always used him as a conduit to find what your family and the lower classes are thinking. You can get a variety of information from him. Not much there, that is all. Come check in with me again later. I will continue to listen and learn. I have a job for you. Of course, the Queen had me join you on your long travels to make sure that you are presentable. She wishes for a certain image Haven's envoys need to project while dealing with our vassals. How may I be of service? That's all I need. I will be here if you need more. That is all then. Thank you, Prince. Your approval does so much to tamp down my unending despair. General Miranda and Stonehouse, working together, attempted to set up quarters for you worthy of a Prince of Haven. Of course, they failed. The meal left out for you was cold, and the cask of wine left for you was of a subpar vintage. Could be worse. Your wild youth left you with a bit of reputation in the known lands. As a result, you do have food and wine, and the bed has proper sheets and a pillow. You can rest in beds like this one to recover your strength. A chest waits in the center of the room, doubtless full of equipment necessary for survival. When you are on a quest and receive a reward item you can't carry, it will appear in this chest. Oh wow. We really do have a bunch of stuff. Iron short blade. 5% hit chance, heavy slash. 25 silver coins, bronze spear. Wood shield. I haven't built enough carpenters to maintain it, so we'll only block half of its damage that it's worth. 5% speed penalty. Leather armor over a leather vest. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's put on the leather armor. Leather cap. 20% damage up to 1. See it. Our sprite changing, which is very cool. Amethyst orb. Not enough magic skills to use. Oh, we should see about getting other people equipped here. Let's give that to Elspeth. Amethyst orb will go to you. Absorbs 50% damage up to 2 physical, 4 magical, and plus 5% mental resist with an empty slot. Cloth gloves, 1 physical damage. Elspeth. Anyone in need of a leather vest? No, you're better with what you've got. Is that two-handed? Yeah, two-handed. Crude bow. I mean, might as well give her a crude bow. It's not going to hurt anything. And the iron short blade, 5% hit chance versus... I want the speed bonus, so... leave that alone. 25 gold. You find the library of Fort Meadow 4. It is the most intact and well-protected room in the fort. Haven's symbol is the scroll for a reason. Treaties, records, histories, and communication are much of the source of Haven's power. A lone figure wanders among the dusty stacks. You remember him as Sage Harlan. He was one of Miranda's assistants back when she was but a lowly chief on Sacramentum. When Harlan sees you, he turns and bows, his arms heavy with a load of delicately balanced scrolls. I am so glad you made it safely, Prince Matthew. I know little about the row so far, but I will help however I can. Our knowledge is yours. Sage Harlan sets down his scrolls, invites you into his library, and eagerly pours you a cup of tea. I'm so glad that you are here. I've been in a lot of Haven's vassals, but this one is the messiest since, well, Sacramentum. It is an honor to work with you again. As you talk, Stonehouse pokes his head through the door behind you. Oh, he must be lonely. I remember you. Well met. I'm gratified that you remember me, and I'm happy to be of assistance again. I don't have a blade, but I have knowledge. I can help direct the blades to where they should and would do the most good. What do you do for Haven? I am a sage. I collect knowledge. I keep records. I write contracts. We sages maintain the framework of knowledge and laws upon which our glorious empire hangs. As for me in specific, I am in General Miranda's retinue. You follow General Miranda? I have that good fortune. We met in Sacramento, and I was lucky enough to hitch myself to her star. She has risen in status quickly, and she has taken me with her to her postings. Done much traveling lately? Since our time in Sacramento, the General and I were posted in 6 different vassal states. I have learned much, reached many libraries. None of them, however, were as colorful as the row. Outside, you hear Stonehouse mutter, or as violent. Another question? I want to know more about the Rokaj. Our sage Harlan sets down his scrolls. Yeah, I want to know more about the Rokaj. Yes, this fascinating land, a small land with rich resources and a wild history. One of Haven's vassals for over 200 years, most of them peaceful. I know little about it so far, I'm afraid. I am learning quickly, and I can share what I know. The Rokaj has 4 provinces, the Gentle Coast, the Kranaz Woods, the Low Daga, and the High Litha. Tell me about the Gentle Coast. This is where we are now. It is the coastline, the least rocky and most hospitable of the lands of the Row. Traditionally, it is the safest place to be, also the wealthiest. Stonehouse emits a choking noise. However, the other provinces have developed a great dislike for the Gentle Coast. Why is the Gentle Coast so wealthy? They control the ports and the main roads through this land, thus they profit from all trade. They are the ones who deal with outsiders most as well. Why is the Gentle Coast disliked? It is wealthy and constantly deals with outsiders. This has resulted in a weakening of the warrior spirit, I suppose. The coast is seen by some as abandoning the ways of the Rokaj. They have a point. Once, raiders from the Low Daga would never have raided this land with such ease. Haven has had a pacifying influence. Here, I mean, not inland. What is in the Kranaz Woods? Thick forest. It has not been heavily exploited. The Row there tend towards nature worship. Understandable given the strong natural magic. This region has a number of mines that produce quality iron. The woods are a source of iron? Seems odd. You can find all sorts of metals in these peaks. The people of the Kranaz like to dig mines, as it enables them to make a living while leaving their sacred groves alone. There is strong natural magic there. Explain. Oh, it's nothing unusual. Most of our vassals have regions with pockets of powerful natural magic. This tends to result in a crude form of worship, harmless as long as it's left alone. The Kranaz Woods have some sacred groves, again, not unusual in Haven's vassals. Know more about the Rokaj. Tell me about the Low Daga. These are the hills to the northeast. Very rocky, uneven terrain. Lots of valleys. A natural home for brigands and mirelings. Oh, sorry. They call them cobwolves here. The raiders who attacked us came from there. Their hills contain a variety of high-quality stone mined for export. Do they work the stone as well? Oh, yes. The Dagans are talented architects and builders. Most of the buildings you see here were made by them. Haven's laws prevent them from building fortifications that would overly annoy us. Their workers still have much profitable work to do. The walls of this fort were built by the Dahagans, or Doggans. Just about the only part of Fort Meadow 4 that didn't collapse in our absence. The raiders who attacked us are from there, so they hate us. Oh, I'm sure everyone in the Rokaj hates us. Most of them only hate us a tiny bit. Others, well, more. However, the Low Daga is a land of raiders. They are more likely to act on their hate than most. What is the High Litha? The highest, coldest peaks of the Rokaj. I don't know much of them. In fact, Haven knows surprisingly little about what is up there. Few people, cold, taciturn, and fierce. There are tales, though. Lots of mountain spirits, mad shamans who talk to them, and, well, they control the Row in their way. They are best kept happy. Any precious resources up there? They do have something very precious, quicksilver. There are deposits of it in the ores of their peaks. Some of their shamans drink it to stay properly mad. The rest is traded for food and supplies. They control the Row? How? We are not entirely sure. They are a fierce and remote people. The High Litha is said to be where the true spirit of the Row is stored. Their opinions have a great influence on how the rest of the Row acts. Haven doesn't really understand the process. Perhaps we can learn more. Stonehouse whispers. Well, a free Sadeth trying. I have another question. Tell me about the beliefs of the Rokaj. Honestly, it is hard to get accurate information about them. Previous accounts of the Ro tend to be colored with excessive hatred and fear, Stonehouse says. Excessive is not the word I would use. Appropriate, maybe. They have been conquered by many empires, and their jagged, hostile lands has bred a nation of fierce warriors. Their ferociousness is well known. Yes. The Ro can be surprisingly hard to provoke. Once a blade is drawn, however, the one who wields it is determined to win or die. The Ro who drinks and chats with you one day might try to kill you the next. Once he attacks, it will be difficult to defeat, even for a Havenite. They are conquered a lot. Drinking some Orange Crush soda. History records 3 unsuccessful occupations before ours. Each seemed to be going well for years. Then weakness was shown, and Rokaj struck back. They attempted to defeat Haven a century ago, and they're also trying right now, Stonehouse helpfully adds. Why are the roads so hard to understand? Sage Harlan chuckles and gives his stacks of books a reproachful look. There is a concept in the Rokaj unique among our vassals. Each Ro carries within something called a deep truth. A deep truth? What the person truly believes. It is stored like a treasure deep within, never shared, never revealed. As long as the deep truth is still there, a Ro can do whatever it takes to survive. However, this means that most you will meet will never ever tell you what they actually believe. It makes learning about them a delightful challenge. You're trying to learn about the Rokaj. Need any help? For the barest hint of a moment, you see a glint of greed in Harlan's eyes. You recognize this look well. When you are a prince, everyone wants something from you. Haven knows so little about the Rokaj. We have not explored it seriously for 20 years. What have they learned? What do they believe? The libraries of Haven ache for fresh books. What do you need? There are many learned people about the Rokaj. The Erudiko, their cast of researchers, is still active. They have many shamans, many sages. See if you can get books from them, books that reflect what they have learned in the last few decades. If you can bring them to me, I can use them to increase the wealth of all of Haven. Where might these books be found? Anywhere, I think, but you're most likely to find them around the Erudiko or other shamans. Don't take any risks, of course, Stonehouse says. Yes, no risk. That is what everyone who wants something says. I have learned of some works that might be valuable. He points at a journal on a nearby podium. My notes are there. That's all for now, thanks. You have a new quest. Podium. Ro works of interest. The Rokaj, for all its reputation as a land of mindless warriors, has a long history of natural science and magical study. However, they like to keep their knowledge secret. We have heard of some intriguing titles Haven should copy. Their Erudiko continues to do research, though its pace has slowed during the recent decades of neglect by Haven. We have heard of books called Erudiko Principles, Erudiko Earth Law, and Erudiko Sky Signs. Of course, these can probably be stolen from Erudiko halls. The shamans of the Cronus Woods have started to actually write down some of their centuries of natural study. We have not yet found a copy of the work Beasts of the Groves. Look for one where their shamans reside. A few of the stone masters of the Lodaga have noted interesting qualities of the rocks they dig up. Look for a copy of Layers of Stone in their workshops. The Mist Talkers of the High Litha have also begun to write down some of what they have learned. They are particularly careful about keeping their secrets. Where the Mist Talkers live and study, look for a copy of Lives of the Dead. Haven's Secrets of Power. The true founders of Haven created the pattern of their domination. Look for lands full of small warring powers. Ally with the most powerful one and give it the magic and weaponry needed to defeat its enemies. In return, once this chosen faction takes power, demand trade and partial control of that nation, making it a vassal state. If the nation ever tries to back out of the deal, ally with one of its rivals and help Haven's new friend destroy the disobedient former vassal state. Then demand loyalty from the shattered nation that remains. The Rokaj follows this pattern mostly. There is always a faction that will take control on behalf of Haven. However, they will almost always rebel soon after. The Ro are a very independent-minded people. Interesting. Just finished this little soda. Head down. Head through here. It's a pretty big place. I'm all stuffed up, guys. Sorry about that. It happens sometime with my air conditioner going in the summer. In the hall to the north, you see a stone portal. This is one of the most prized of Haven's magical artifacts. When it is open and glowing, you can walk through it to the Palace of Haven and back. Only those who have been touched by a certain spell can use the portal, usually royalty. Of course, it was applied to you at birth. The portal consumes great energy and tends to make the user very nauseated. A vomiting pot is provided. Still, when someone important needs to be moved somewhere very quickly, this is the best method. Alright. Oh, we've got a box in here. Supply place. With a leather cap. Very nice. I'll go ahead and put that on. That goes outside. I don't think it's all that bad. As you approach Miranda's office, you walk by a gleaming mirror. This is a remarkably useful magical device. It enables people to speak with each other over great distances. For example, it enables your mother to nag and pester you from thousands of miles away. At the moment, it looks like an ordinary mirror. No messages wait for you. If it sparkles, that means someone wants to speak with you. Each of Haven's 7 forts has one of these mirrors. You can check them off and to get information. Sometimes this knowledge will be useful. I can guide you. We must rebuild the fort. General Miranda says, "What else do you need, Prince? I can give guidance and support as needed." I have recruited more soldiers. Now what? Now I can relay Princess Sutter's message. There is something he wants you to do. Not me, of course. I would never give orders to royalty of Haven. But, well, he told me what I have to say. Sutter wants me to do something. Fine. What? So, when they were rushing south, a handful of the raiders went east. They grabbed control of Spiretop Lighthouse. Prince Sutter wants you to go there and retake it. Get what intelligence you can. Do Haven proud. Bear the flag high. All the usual. You've completed a quest by reaching Fort Meadow 4. This has given you enough experience to give you a level. When you end the conversation, you will learn how to train your characters. Cool. What is Spiretop Lighthouse? She checks some notes on her desk. It's a lighthouse, constructed by Haven, helps merchant ships through a particularly jagged area of sea. It is not hugely significant in the scheme of things, but even one tower held by the rabble is too many. The prince's words. Where is the lighthouse? Leave Fort Meadow 4 and travel east on the roads. Follow the signs. We don't know how many enemies are there, and Sutter is sending me? Oh, Prince Sutter gave me a response in case you express such a sentiment. She nervously picks up a scrap of paper. Please, these are your brother's words, not mine. Go on. She reads from the paper. Matthew, quit your whining and show this rabble what Haven can do. No enemy force could ever be too large. General Miranda winces. I'm not sure that is true, but it is what he said. We wait news of your victory. Conversation ends. Cool. You have just gained a level. Your characters now have more health and energy, and their abilities and attacks will be more effective. Each time you gain a skill level, you also gain a skill point. When you're in one of your forts, you can spend skill points to gain new abilities or make your old abilities more effective. To train a character, press that button, select the tab to train, select skill to train untrain. Completing a quest is giving you enough XP to train a level. Your health and attack damage is increased. Every level you also get a new skill point, which you can spend to buy a new ability or increase an existing one. You can only train in your forts. Press the train button for a character, select the tab with the skills you want, and select the skill to improve. Some skills can be improved twice, which makes them more powerful. If you don't like your choice, you can retrain your skills when inside of a fort. Oh, let's see what this says first. The Empire of Haven. Haven is one of the greatest powers in the known lands. It is an empire not shy about admitting it. Its conquests are not gained by war usually, but by diplomacy, cunning, and clever use of its small but highly disciplined military and powerful wizards. In its early days, Haven was one of many small, wild, violent city-states. More disciplined, more cautious, but still one of many. Haven has its own warriors and wizards. They fight, and very well. However, there are not enough of them to conquer the world by force of arms. Thus, it is by alliances that Haven grows. That is why Haven's symbol is the scroll. Haven makes deals, and it lives by them. Haven buys the independence of smaller powers, and it is brutal when they try to regain it. Okay. Oh. We haven't looked around the fort yet. So let's go ahead and do that. We will go ahead and level up in a second. Oh, cool boat. Oh, game saved, which is good. I'm forgetting to F3. What is this? Guard tower? There's a neglected guard tower in the corner of the fortress. Normally, you'd expect to see ballistas and watchful guards upstairs. These days, who knows what mess you will find. The lower level is dusty and empty. The floor is scratched and worn. Whatever work was done here, the equipment was removed some time ago. You will need to find a use for this open space. You can build workshops and other useful structures on open wood floor. Each fort will have a free area you can build on immediately. Huh. Alright, well, we're not going to buy a shop yet, I guess. That's a little advanced yet. Alright, plenty of places to build. I don't think it's that bad. Got some cabbages growing down there. Alright, let's head in. We've inspected the fort. This place is nice. Chief Cestus slumps in her chair. Her face is without expression. You wonder when she last showed any passion for the work. You watch as a fine layer of dust slowly settles on her. I've had a chance to inspect your fort. Chief Cestus nods. It was inevitable that this reckoning would come. We await your judgment. Things seem to be going well. Amazingly, she manages to crack a tiny bit of a smile. The whimsy of Prince Matthew is well known. I am glad it has led you to mercy. I'm sorry to dispute you, but my proud fort is a ruin. It doesn't always have to be that way, though. Perhaps I can still be of use. Oh, I didn't ask Miranda how she came to be. How did you come to be a chief here? My first posting was in the Rokaj over 30 years ago. I served all over this land. Then I was honored with this post. I served my entire career here. I even remember when you visited. You were a small child, and the last time royalty of Haven came here before now. 30 years is a long time. Yes, most officers of Haven choose to travel from time to time, see the world, stay fresh. I chose to have roots. You chose to stay here? I love this land. Even though they are on the brink of war with us now, I admire their spirit. Also, we are their overlords, the sun in their sky, even though we ignore them. I settled down, raised a family here. It happens. So, any long-term plans? I will do everything to help you return peace to the row. Then I will retire. I will stay here no matter what cost. Then you can replace me with someone up to the job of rebuilding. Another question. What happened to Fort Meadow 4? You are my prince, so I must be honest. It was neglect. After your father, Consort Darmal, died, the Rokaj was forgotten. Or that is how it seemed after all these years. I take full responsibility for the state of Fort Meadow 4. My underlings share no responsibility. That is an adequate response. It is the truth. We have done our best. At least the Rokaj is still held. History teaches us that they punish neglect with rebellion. Of course, that may be what is happening now. I will need support for my mission here. Of course, Prince. What little we have is yours. I should call your attention to the mirror and the portal. We have created quarters for you upstairs. There are supplies and a place to rest there. Any real help, however, will have to come from General Miranda. It is an honor to have her here. In return, I may occasionally need your judgment. Tell me about the mirror. It is right outside this office. When it sparkles, someone is trying to talk to you. It is how Sharon's palace speaks with us. It has been quiet for a long time, but now that you are here... Tell me about the portal. It is in one of the northern halls. It leads back to Sharon's palace. Once you are done with the row, I expect that you'll be using it to return home. My quarters? They are upstairs, looked over by your butler. You can rest and store excess equipment there. We will give our lives to keep you safe. Tell me about General Miranda. She has taken over my office to the east. She is extremely quick and competent, I must say. Much needs to be decided about the future of the Rokaj. When you have made a decision, it must be delivered to her. You may need my judgment. This is the foremost of Haven's forts in the Rokaj. Sometimes we need to judge legal disputes for our vassal state. The most difficult ones are brought to this hall for me to judge. It can be very difficult, and I could use help. Please drop by this hall from time to time. I may need your wisdom for a trial. Now that an uprising has begun, I am no longer sufficient to handle the trickiest bits of diplomacy. Anything I can do for you to help restore the fort? Not yet. Right now, Prince Sutter's orders override all. I understand he wants Spiretop Lighthouse retaken. General Miranda can tell you more. Once that is done, speak with me again. I might be able to help you. Okay. We have a new quest. Let's just go ask Miranda how she got her job here, actually. So you're a general now. I'd like to know more of what you've been up to. Oh, I'm sorry, Prince. I'm sure we'll have time to talk later. Oh, okay. I want to know more about Prince Sutter. Of course. He arrived not long before you in the greatest of haste. He received my report, gave some orders, said some things about you, and departed immediately. What did he say about me? Oh, she greatly regrets mentioning it. You make it clear that you expect an answer. He said, I managed to get brother out of bed and doing something. Matthew should be useful for once. General Miranda looks deeply unhappy. Where did he go? To hunt brigands to the north. He thinks that he can find and question their leader and learn why this raid happened. Will the prince be safe? I devoutly hope so. I'm not worried. Everyone knows that Prince Sutter is enormously gifted in battle. As are you. That's enough of this topic. Of course, Prince. There is much to do. Alright, cool. Let's F3 and see how long we've been playing. 32 minutes. Okay, so we have time to level up here. Let's go ahead and start with Patricia. Spend at least one skill point in this tier to get this bonus. 1 arcane items. I don't get it. Do we get 2 energy from that? And then 2 here when we use 2 arcane items here. Call bones. Weakness. Icy wave. Magery. Gives a 20% bonus to all afflictions you cause and increases magical damage by 2 per point. Wow, Battle Medic is passive. Gives your heals and blesses a 25% chance of not costing action points. I think I might go ahead and call bones. So now 2 arcane items. We should have gotten a +1 energy. Oh, and can use tier 2 arcane items. I see. Spend at least 1 skill point. Oh, so just 1 skill point gets the bonus. Very good. Terrans. Steel Skin gives 20% point resistance to bleeding, poison, stun, and mental effects. Binding Blow, Weaken, Brutal Blow. Teleport, teleports 1 character to a nearby spot. Provides 12 turns of haste to 1 ally. Heals 10% more. Let's do Inspiring Cry. which blesses all allies within 6 spaces for 4 turns, increasing their damage. At level 2, increases duration 2 turns, so 8 turns or 6 turns of support. Elspeth. Evasion Charm provides an evasion charm to an ally for 3 turns. Physical attack evasion will increase by 50%. I would like to get Whirlwind. Stunning Shot does 25% more damage. How about we go ahead and get Steel Skin? Always active. 20% point resistance to bleed, poison, stun, and mental effects. So if we look at here, you can see her resists. Look very good. And now for me, I can go into these. Haven's Command, passive ability always active, provides a damage bonus to all allies within 4 spaces. The higher your level, the higher the bonus. Haven's Mercy powerfully heals and cures all allies within 6 spaces. Haven's Might powerfully hastes and blesses all allies within 6 spaces for 5 turns. Or I can get a Stunning Shot as well. I think I'll go ahead and Haven's Might. Powerfully haste and bless all allies within 6 spaces for 5 turns. That's going to be useful. So it's F3. We can always change it again if we want later. And now it's time to roll out to our first order of business, which is to head eastward to the Spire Top Lighthouse. I'm going to save here and say thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll join me next time for more. Much more to come. Barely have started the game. Everything looks a little more polished, a little nicer, a little, rounded edges and vibrant color. Interesting, debris looking instead of just what it was in the first game. Very nice. So, we're going to have a lot of fun. So again, I hope you join me. It's raining once again at the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you all. Much love, peace, and joy. Take care, guys, and hopefully see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.